In this video, I will be demonstrating exercise 4.4, installing and configuring the DNS server role on server core. The first thing we want to do is install the DNS server role on server core. And to do this, our command is start/w oc setup DNS s-server-core-role with enter. Now we're going to configure it to start automatically when the system loads. Now we're going to start the system, and we're going to ignore that dialog box that pops up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a secondary zone for contoso.com. And here's our command for that, /zone add contoso.com /secondary, and then the IP address for that DNS server. Then we're going to force a zone transfer. Actually, we get a command completed successfully command or result. Now we're going to add a secondary zone for adatum.com. It's the same command, except we're going to replace contoso.com with adatum.com and the proper IP address, as well as forcing the zone transfer as we just did right there. Now we're going to confirm DNS functionality by using NSLookup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to test the functionality by using NSLookup with w2k01.contoso.com. Now where it says server unknown address and on the IP address of server core, that's telling us that the query is coming from server core. And as you can see, it did successfully resolve the IP address, which was 192.168.1.101. Now we're going to test test01.contoso.com. As you can see, we get our proper resolution. Now we're going to test the w2k802.adatum.com. As you can see, it's still getting the resolution from our server core. Now we're going to test our test02.adatum.com, and all of our resolutions are successful. So now we're going to use NSLookup to dump the DNS records, and then we're going to open and examine some of the records in there. Now, before we execute a command, if we just try to do it right now, it says we can't because of the security settings. So, in order to do that, we have to make sure that it is non-secure. And to do this, we use the DNS non-secure command. The syntax of this command is DNS-CMD and core01, which is a computer name, and /zone reset secondaries, then the domain name, and then non-secure. You can see we get a command completed successfully message. We do the same thing to the adatum domain. And again, we get the command completed successfully message. Now that we've set the security settings, we're going to use NSLookup to dump the DNS records to a file. We've gotten to interactive mode. I'm going to type in ls.contoso.com and the greater than sign in the file. You can see it received 8 records. Do the same thing for adatum.com. We're going to give it a different file name. Now we're going to view these contents of the files. So we're going to type in view and then file. As you can see, there are the 8 records as well as the 2 name server records. We can tell that this is the contoso.com server because those are the 2 first ones. Now we're going to look at the second one we did, which we can tell it's for adatum.com because there are 2 records at the top there. This is the end of the lab video for Lab 4 and INTC 2030.